You're watching The Breakfast Club.
Morning, everybody. It's DJ Envy, Angela Yee, Charlamagne the Guy. We are The Breakfast Club. We got a special guest in the building, Commissioner Gregg Bishop. Welcome, Commissioner.
How you guys doing?
How's it going?
He just informed me that he's from Grenada. I just came from Grenada.
Yes, sir.
Okay.
It's a beautiful country, isn't it?
It is a beautiful country, the Spice Island.
Where everything is nice.
I gained about 10 pounds out there.
Eating a lot of oil down?
Yeah, well, you know what? I'm addicted to soursop tea now.
Oh, okay.
It helps me sleep.
Okay.
And dark chocolate makes me hornier than I've ever been in my life.
Well, all right. Well,
I don't
Greg
know how you
Bishop,
follow from that, but
Commissioner Greg Bishop and Commissioner of the SBS.
Yeah, New York City Small Business Services. And we're a city agency to help small businesses in New York City, but we also help New Yorkers find jobs.
Now, when you say help, you give loans or permits?
So we do a lot, not only loans. So we help connect New Yorkers to resources. So we help entrepreneurs who may have an idea actually figure out how to start their own business. We then connect them to resources, including loans. So we go anywhere from, we have a network of like 40 lenders. So we go anywhere from 10,000 to 2 million. And, we help individuals with their credit because sometimes, as you know, when you're starting a business, your personal credit is very important. So we also help individuals repair their credit.
So what's great about this, and I thought it was important for him to come, is that these services are free.
Correct.
And a lot of people don't take advantage of them or even know that these services are available from the city.
Right. So, and that's one of the challenges I have, and, I'm really happy to be here because a lot of individuals, start their business and it's usually a gut feeling. It's like, I think I want to do this, and they just go into it blindly. And a lot of business owners don't know what they don't know. And I'm going to flip it a little bit because it's free, but you're a taxpayer, and your tax dollars are actually contributing to these services.
So it ain't free.
So you've already paid for it.
Yeah,
so
you might as well use these services.
Right.
It's like having health insurance but never going to the doctor.
Right.
Yeah,
exactly.
but you can't use what you don't know about.
Right.
Like people don't have the information.
Exactly. And especially, I focus a lot on specific underrepresented communities, Black, Hispanic entrepreneurs, and really try to connect with those individuals, women entrepreneurs, to ensure that they know that these services are available in New York City. Certainly, all across the U.S., cities have programs like ours, but New York City is like well-resourced. And our agency, we really work hard to get into the neighborhoods and really help individuals realize their dreams.
Well, where does money at? Let's get right to it. How can they get this money?
Listen, anyone can actually come to us. They can either go online or call. In New York City, you can call 311, or you can go online at nyc.gov/SBS. And you can sit down with us. If you're looking to start a business, we can, we're going to ask you some specific questions. Because a lot of business owners, they go into it blindly. And I need to know that you have like a 5-year plan, because most businesses, about 50% of businesses fail within the first 5 years. So we want to make sure that you really know what you're talking about. So we're going to ask you questions, and then we're going to connect you to lenders. And it could be anywhere from, we have a great program for women entrepreneurs where the city is putting in the first 10% up to $1,000 of a $10,000 loan. And we partner with Kiva Zip to do that. Or we could go to a traditional bank. It all depends on where your credit profile is. And certainly we can help you with that.
Do you have to live in New York, or?
So you do have to live within the 5 boroughs. This is one of the benefits of being a New Yorker. You get to benefit from these services. But in other areas of the country, we partner closely with the Small Business Administration. So there are centers across the country called Small Business Development Centers. And they provide a lot of the same services.
Now, what's really helpful for me is I wasn't aware of the certification, and Greg has been working very closely with me on getting certified for these minority and women-owned business certifications. So explain what that's for.
Right. So a lot of people don't understand that, and they think it's sort of like a handout. It's not. What it is that the city of New York, and every single government, whether it's the federal government or your local state government, they need to acquire stuff. They don't actually produce it. So the city of New York alone spends about $13 to $16 billion. That's with a B, a year just to run the city.
Jesus
and that's
Christ.
Everything from computers to pens to everything.
Meanwhile, this city looks trash. Let me tell you something.
No, the city does not look
New York
trash.
should look like Dubai for all the money that we spend in taxes here in New York. New York should look like a futuristic city.
Listen, New York, there's 8.5 million people here. And of the 8.5 million people, New York has challenges like small countries. And I would tell you that, I love the city, and New York has a certain grit to it. you might call it trash, but it's grit. And that's how you know if you can make it here, you can make it anywhere.
It's kind of dirty.
Man,
New
stop
York
it,
is just
man.
dirty.
Yes, come on, man. All this money that we spend in taxes, New York should look amazing. The most impressive thing I've seen about New York lately is the rat that was taking a shower the other day.
That was pretty cool, right?
That was, you know what? I don't know how they did that. You know, but rats are a staple of New York City.
Oh my God! See what we've accepted in See what we've accepted in New York.
Part of the feel of the city.
Brooklyn looks way better than
Commissioner
Manhattan
Bassett
right
is
now.
not going to be happy that I
It
just said that.
depends on what part of Manhattan.
Huh?
It depends on what part of Manhattan. If it's like, because Times Square sometimes looks nice, but then Times Square
Times Square looks okay.
Right. But I mean, but in order to run the city, you know, think about that. If we can harness the buying power of the city, and what I mean by harness is that, you know, the city spends $13 to $16 billion. If we could get like 30% of that to small businesses, minority and women-owned businesses, and that's what certification unlocks. The mayor has been very focused on helping small businesses, especially minority and women-owned businesses, and he's instructed every single commissioner to figure out how to use more of these small businesses. And what happens? These small businesses get the city contracts, they grow, and what happens? They hire within their community.
Now, how did you get this job as commissioner?
I asked for it.
I've never, like,
I asked
I've
for it.
never heard of it.
Yeah, so I mean, it's government ease. I mean, what I usually tell people, I'm a CEO of an agency of 350 dedicated, hardworking public servants who are here to help. And literally, I actually started my career 10 years ago with the city. I never wanted to work for government because you all know people don't really look at government as something I aspire to actually work for.
Right.
And certainly, I met a lot of smart people in government. And that's one of the things I want to challenge folks is really, if you want to make a difference, and especially in this, you know, time that we're in, you want to actually start a career in government and actually connect with and influence policy. So
yeah, we got to stop complaining about things and be
you
a part
have to
of
be
things.
part of the solution.
And it has to be a great feeling for you to let people know that these services are available that might not have known, and then see those businesses flourish
Exactly.
after they come to the SBS.
I have so many stories of businesses that came to us. We either helped them with capital. I mean, one of the businesses that you're about to talk to, just talking in the green room, realized that we actually helped them with their first loan. So
Give us an example.
it's literally there was a fire suppression company up in Harlem and wanted to figure out how to actually win contracts with the city. They came to us. We taught them how to actually sell to government. They actually used one of our services to bid on a contract. They won that contract. And then once you start winning, you know the
You're
secret.
in.
And then they started winning more and more and more. Then they started hiring more people in Harlem. And then those people needed to be trained. And then they came to us for free training. So certainly there's a lot that we can do and that we're focused on doing.
Do you help with like infrastructure too?
So it's everything.
Okay.
And that's one of the things that I tell people, no matter what type of company that you have, look at certification, look at government as an option. And notice I said as an option because you have to be smart. You have to have a plan. If you have a small business and you don't have the capacity to actually have a government contract, now may not be the right time for you to do that. And we want to make sure that you're ready. So we have a lot of free services to help build your capacity to do that. So everything from, whenever you're driving around New York City and you see a big hole in the ground, it's a company that the city hired to actually dig that hole. So I'm actually looking for a lot of minority and women-owned engineering companies.
Wait a minute. You said you're driving around the city and what? There's a hole.
So I mean,
potholes.
So not potholes, but when we're when we're actually installing sewers, we need engineering companies to do that. When we're paving the roads, we need companies that actually do paving and line striping. There's so many different types of companies that the city needs that we're trying to certify at least 9,000 companies by the end of 2020.
Now, when I first met you, it was up here, and it was in passing. We had just opened a juice bar, and you said,
that's right.
We have a staffing service, so
Yep.
we offer staffing. And so explain that, because I was like, oh, that's interesting, because one of the main issues, I think, with having a business is getting the right staff together to help run it. People that are going to be on time, that are going to be courteous and know what they're doing, that are
Right.
trustworthy, that are honest. And it's always, I think, very stressful because you're dealing with people and having to figure out, can this work, can this not work?
Right. So we try to make it easier for businesses to operate in New York City. And one of the top reasons why businesses fail is because of the workforce. You named all of it. You don't have a staff that understands customer service, et cetera. So we actually help. So we run all the Workforce One centers across the city. And what we do is we work with a business. Business tells us the skill set that they're looking for. This is the type of person that I'm looking for. And then we do the first pass. So we're saving you time. You don't have to sort through a whole bunch of resumes. And then once we actually have a core group of people, you could come into our offices, you can interview right there and then make the hire. So that saves, and as you know, time is money. So we want to save businesses and business owners time in order to actually recruit their staff.
What's better, small business loans or coming to y'all?
Small business loans are?
What's better, a small business loan from a bank or coming to y'all?
Well, coming to us. I mean, So we have, banks start really around 250,000 up to 500,000. Over 70% of the small businesses, they're looking for loans under 100,000. So you need someone like us to actually connect you to what we call nonprofit lenders. So there are different types of lending out there, and I want to make sure that entrepreneurs understand the true cost of capital. It's so easy to go on Google, type in business loan, and you'll get an online lender. And by the time you actually sign off on that loan, you don't realize that you're paying about 40% in interest. So we want to make sure that we help educate business owners on the true cost of capital. So coming to us with a plan, we'll even help you develop that plan. And then we'll either set you up with a crowdsource loan or a loan with what we call a community development financial institution, or even a traditional bank. It all depends on where you are in the spectrum. So certainly coming to us because we have the network.
Now, what about Trump's new tax plan? Does that help or hurt?
So listen,
you're laughing, so that doesn't mean
I will. So I'm going to tell the truth. Anytime we reduce regulations and taxes on businesses, it's always a good thing. I will. The devil's in the details. Certainly,
the white devil is in the details.
So I will tell you that certainly. You have to figure out where that money is going. So if businesses are saving the money, we want to see them reinvested in their workforce because a happy workforce is a profitable business.
Gotcha.
So that's, I could say a lot more about.
It could be better or it could be worse. We don't know.
We'll see.
I heard over the long term, it's not going to be good for small businesses.
I think, when you look at the country as a whole and where we're making our investments, I think, it's a global economy. I think it's a mistake for us to be stuck on the Industrial Revolution. We're in the technology revolution. These are the things that we try to teach our small businesses. Consumer behavior is changing. People are doing everything online. And the support network that you need a workforce that actually understands technology. I started my career in technology. So I understand this. And certainly we are doing training in New York City to put people into tech jobs. But I think as a country, we're doing a disservice by not focusing on the next wave of technology. You have autonomous vehicles. If you're a mechanic right now, you should be actually thinking about training on how to actually fix an autonomous vehicle. If you look at a Tesla, there's no engines in there. It's all computer-based. And this country, instead of focusing on, saving cold jobs, you should be focused on training and retraining those individuals for tech jobs. So that's, and I don't think we're focused on that at all.
Is that so? That would be your advice for new entrepreneurs. If somebody came to you and be like, what kind of small business should I be looking to start?
Definitely focus on, you have to find your niche, right? So if you are an entrepreneur, you have to do your research.
You shouldn't be coming like, what kind of business should I start? You should already have some type of idea and passion of what it is that you want to do.
And you could run a service business. Think about what makes a great neighborhood, and you have to do your research. We have information online in terms of the demographics of a neighborhood, the income of a neighborhood, the foot traffic of a neighborhood. You need to figure that out, but certainly technology has to be part of the equation. You cannot start a business without a social media presence. You cannot start a business without understanding your online consumers. And those are the things that we teach entrepreneurs. Because if you do that, you're dead in the water.
Now, how can people get in contact with you if they want to start, if they want to try, if they want to reach out and try to get a business started?
So there's a number of ways you can. Certainly on social media, on Instagram, I'm at Gregg Bishop. They can actually go to our website, nyc.gov/SBS, and contact us. Or if you're in New York City, you can call 311 and ask for either a loan or whatever it is to help you start your business.
You just call 311 and say, I need a loan.
Yep, and they're going to connect you to us.
Or February 21st, you can come to Juices for Life in Brooklyn.
What's happening there? What are we doing there?
We'll be out there. You have an RV, so let's talk about this campaign and what we're doing on February 21st for small business owners or for entrepreneurs who are looking to start a business.
So I'm really excited about this because this is part of my goal in terms of reaching out to specific communities. So we have an RV. that has the ability to bring our staff to different neighborhoods in New York City.
Dope.
So we're going to be parked outside of the juice bar. We're going to have resources available. So anyone who's interested in actually starting a business, getting financing for a business, we're going to have our staff there ready to actually assist. So that's going to be.
Can you do multiple businesses? So let's say I have a juice bar, and then I say I want to open a barbershop, and then somebody wants to open a.
As long as you have the capacity to do it, sure, why not?
So we can get a bunch of loans from you.
Yeah, you can.
Okay. Gregg Bishop, the loan guy. I like that.
He's not giving you the loan though. He's connecting
I'm
you.
connecting you.
Oh, he's the plug.
Yeah, you still have
There
to have
you
it
go.
together. That you
do.
can't just
Exactly.
say I'm gonna give you some money.
But we're going to
and
make sure that you have it together before we actually send you to a lender.
Y'all
Yeah.
served 10,000 new businesses last year?
Yeah.
That's
so
a lot.
It is. And, there's, and one of the things I'm proud of, again, looking at New York City, there are over 230,000 small businesses. And when you look at, like I said, we have 8.5 million people. 1/3 of our population is foreign born, but 48% of our small businesses are owned by someone who's foreign born. So what does that mean? Our immigrants are actually driving the economy of New York City because small business are the backbone of the city. They employ over 3.2 million people. It's not the large businesses. So immigrants are driving New York City's economy. If
Immigrants drive America.
listen,
Always have, always will, probably.
but some folks in Washington don't understand that. So just have to pound that message over and over again. That we are as a city supportive of immigrant entrepreneurs.
What if I fail at my first business and then I come back to y'all again? Do y'all
Pick yourself up, dust yourself off.
Right.
Everyone fails in business.
Yeah.
I mean,
As
everyone.
long as your credit's still high and you pay off them loans, you
But
owe.
they'll help
Right.
you get your credit back to where
And
it
if
needs
your
to
credit
be.
is not great, we'll help you fix it.
Do y'all
You
have
know?
any stories of people failing it the first time, failing the second time, but finally getting it right with y'all on the third time?
No. We have people on. We have people who came to us without a fully baked idea. So they just came back when they were ready. But when we actually engage with someone, we want to make sure we don't send them off to fail. We really have a good track record in terms of businesses that we help launch and that's still operating. Now, one of the things that New York City is a very complex city, so that's why we really stress on you really need to have that plan together,
Right.
Because if you sign a 5-year lease without even coming to us and get a free lawyer, or if you
A free lawyer
yes,
too, huh?
yeah. So I mean, again, remember this is all when you talk about equity. There are individuals who don't have, the attorney in the family to help them out. They don't have, the uncle that has $1 million that could, just give you the startup capital. That's where we fit in, and that's the role of government. Is
Y'all don't
really,
ask for nothing? Y'all don't want a percentage? Nothing?
we just want you to be successful because guess what happens? You hire within the city, so you're creating jobs and you're driving down our unemployment rate. So that's why we're making this investment.
And we're
like Shark
paying,
Tank.
and we're paying for this.
Exactly.
Free
Just
Shark
like
Tank.
Shark Tank.
And we're paying for this out of our taxpayer dollars.
So it's
as
already
Gregg
paid
Bishop
for.
Said, so.
Yeah, it's definitely already paid for.
And y'all ain't going to come back around and be like, hey, your business is doing well. We need a percentage.
No.
No, and that is one of the things I try to counter is that government can actually have a human face and government can actually be helpful. We actually advocate for you as a small business. And a lot of small business owners are skeptical of that, especially if I walk into, if I'm up in Washington Heights or if I'm in Bed-Stuy and I walk into a store with a suit on and I'm like, hey, I'm from New York City. I'm trying to help. People look at me like I have two heads.
Now you look like you
I'm
cop. You look like police.
But truly, we are really trying to help make businesses successful because that's really important for us.
Well, when you hear, guys like Jay-Z say our people never had the tools, these are one of the tools that
These
our
are
people
the
don't
tools.
know about.
Exactly. And that's why I thank you guys for having me on here. And certainly, one of the things that we really need as a people is, instead of popping bottles in a club and just blowing $30,000 on a night, I'm looking at our athletes and our entertainers. If you pool your money together, you create a venture capital fund so that way you can help small businesses. Because in some places, and sometimes all a small business owner needs is just an infusion of capital, and it could be an angel investor. And that is one of the things that I'm really advocating for is really for us as a people to really help our own.
Niggas only come together for the swag surfing to take pictures of the Rock Nation. March.
I think with 45 in the office, I think we actually have the environment now that people realize that we need to really help each other.
Absolutely, we need.
Yeah, exactly. And we have, black and brown and consumers spend so much money in terms of, so you can actually, we can do it ourselves. And one of the reasons why I enjoy the job that I do is really getting out to our people and connecting them to the resources.
Right, and I appreciate it. I wish we would have known about this when we started our business, because it would have made things a whole lot easier.
You're not alone.
I'm sure this won't be the last business y'all start.
It's definitely
we
not.
figured
And
it
now
out.
that I am aware, I want to make sure that other people are aware and spread that information, because I know so many people that could benefit from knowing that the SBS is there.
Yep.
They're there to help. There's all these free services. And I'm definitely, as you know, still working with you and getting some more things done. So I'm excited about it.
Got
and
big
I
things
wanna
ahead.
Spread the word.
Now, what's the difference between Commissioner Gregg Bishop and Commissioner James Gordon?
A gun.
And access to Batman.
That's about it. Okay. We all serve at the pleasure of the mayor. So certainly, my clock is ticking. The mayor won re-election, and he's in his his final term. But we all have agencies to run. Again, my agency is about 350. Commissioner Gordon, in this case, Commissioner O'Neill, he has a force of 30,000. So that's the real difference. But we all are focused on our own sort of lanes.
Yeah, because I never heard Commissioner Gordon on Batman talking about small business loans.
Yeah. I mean, that's the thing. Like, a lot of people don't understand. People see the uniforms, right? Police, fire, sanitation. And that's what they see and attach government to. But there's a whole bunch. I mean, in the city of New York, we have 300,000 on staff. So literally, there's a whole team of people who are dedicated public servants. And I stress servants because we serve the people of New York. Any government, whether it's federal, they serve us. And people should demand that government should be accountable, and government should actually provide these services to help them.
All right.
Well, thank you for joining us. We appreciate it.
Well, thank you for having me. Appreciate it.
Commissioner Gregg Bishop, the money man.
I like that.
It's the Breakfast Club. Good morning.